Hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and there's another beautiful worship on wheels. As you can see, not in my normal environment. It's been crazy, man. It has been crazy. Since the last worship on wheels video where we were talking about my cat Haven, she is no longer with us. She died this week. She went out, her last day was pretty miserable for her, but up until that, for the preceding 18 years, she was a house of fire. She's definitely missed around the house, not having her here. We miss that sweet old cat, man. She was something else. Also, I want to mention that I appreciate the prayers for my mother. Things are going well with her. We're still dealing with a few little things for her, but I wish you would just keep her in your prayers, her longevity, her general health, all of that stuff, man. We're just glad to have her in our lives. Like I said, it's going to be more worship around wheels than worship on wheels, but that's okay. I'm just glad to be a part of it. As of now, it is a little after 11 at night. So I'm going to get this done and get this edited, have it up by 6 in the morning. Coach Vic told me I'm a crazy person. It's been raining cats and dogs for a week. It has been cold today. We had a track meet today, and then I left the track meet. My oldest daughter came over, spent some time with her. Once she left, my younger daughter showed up, spent some time with her. And then Coach Vic said, I'm going to bed. And I said, I'm going out in the garage and shooting a video. And she said, I lost my mind. But this is important. This is it's funny. These videos, they're special to me. I really like making these. And I know that I get some interesting comments about them, and that's okay. But I want you to know I don't take you for granted, and I am grateful. So we're going to talk a little bit about a verse. We'll share a verse like I always do, drinking coffee out of my new Doing It Right mug. CB3. Shameless plug. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to read this verse, then we'll share a quick story, and then we'll talk about what it means to us. And sometimes things aren't what they appear to be. Therefore, we are always confident, although we know that while we are at home in the body, that means we're away from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight. That is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 and 7. I'll toss this to the side. All right, so now the little story. So years ago, I was 5 years old, and I had obviously met my blind grandmother before. And yes, she was my blind grandmother. She was my great-grandmother. She lost her vision in her 50s. Now, the conditions that she had with her eyes, genetically, I had with mine. And had I lived in her generation, I would be blind right now. But due to medical science and the things that they have been able to not only detect in my eyes for a decade now, they've been able to treat them. And due to that treatment and several surgeries, I'm able to see 20/20 distance vision in my left eye and 20/20 close-up vision with my right eye. So there's some weird stuff going on, but they both work and I can see very well. But had I grown up in her time, I'd be blind right now. So I'm very grateful. But anyway, not to get off on all that, but so I'm 5 years old and my parents tell me, you're going to go in here, you're going to see her. And I didn't remember seeing her the last time. You're a kid, you're a little bitty guy. This is when I first started to remember. So they said, okay, Bobby. It wasn't Coach Bob, it was just Bobby. Okay, Bobby, now what I want you to do, you just remember now, she can't see you. Now, I don't know what I expected to see when I walked in the room, but I didn't expect to see what I saw. So I walk in the room and the television's on and she's sitting in front of the TV. My grandfather's in the other chair. She's sitting there and her eyes are open. She's got like a little cup of coffee. And I'm like, well, she's watching TV, man. She can see. Blind was just a word. I didn't really fully understand what it meant. Well, I see her. I see Grandma and she says my name and Grandma's want a hug. So I take off running across the room and I jump up in her lap and whack, man, my head hits her right in the mouth and she is bleeding, man. And she laughed. She laughed and she grabbed me and hugged me, reached over by our table, grabbed a tissue and dabbed her busted lip. You know, and that story was told for a long time after that. The point of the story is that just because we don't see something doesn't mean that it's not there. In fact, it may be very, very close. It can be so close that it can bust your lip even though you don't see it. And that's how our life is. God is involved in our lives and we walk by faith, not by sight. God sees us. We can't see him, and we understand that. We can see the works in our lives. We can see the things that he does. We can feel his presence, but we can't visually see him. That creates a lot of problems for folks that struggle with the idea of, well, why should I believe in God anyway? I can't tell you why. I can't tell you what to believe. I'm often asked, why do you believe, Bob? And the answer is because I do. It's very simple. It's too simple for some people, and that's okay. But I want you to understand that God sees you and God sees me. And he sees us for what we really are. Now, that used to kind of freak me out because it's like, well, I'm an imperfect man. I get angry. I may say something I shouldn't say, that sort of stuff. You know, it's like, you know, God, you know, I'm messed up. I'm all jacked up. You gonna love me anyway? And the answer is yes. You know, and I grew to understand that more after I had children. I'd see my children make mistakes in their lives, and I grew to love them more and more and more through all of that stuff that they go through. You just learn to appreciate them more and love them even more. And that if me, as an imperfect man, could see my children that way, then God could certainly, in his perfection, love me through my shortcomings. Man, that was a huge encouragement to me when I had that epiphany. But I want to share something about how God sees you and sees me. You know, we look at beautiful works of art. I'll pick the Mona Lisa, all right? The Mona Lisa, in dollars and cents, this world will tell you is worth more than you are and worth more than me. In fact, I would say probably worth all of us combined. But to God, you are worth more than the Mona Lisa. You are more beautiful than the Mona Lisa. Because you were created by the hands of the eternal master, God Almighty. He made you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. That ought to encourage you just a little bit. You know, you're more beautiful than a symphony that was written by Beethoven or Mozart. Because although those things were written by masterful musicians, the song of your life was written by the Eternal Father. That's how special you are. That's how special I am. And when my days are done here, I know I'll be okay in the hands of my Father because I walk by faith and not by sight. And one day, I will not be within this body. I will be in the presence of the Lord. And my prayer is that you will be too. Well, I hope you're encouraged this week. It's been a long week, busy week. Track meets and kids and weather and life and chaos and craziness. And it has all come together in this beautiful symphony we call life. And understand, through your insanity, through my insanity, through your loneliness, through your darkness, through your brightness, through your laughter, through your tears, through all of it, my friends, you, yes, you are loved. Be encouraged. Now, go change the world. We'll talk to you real soon.